All right, welcome to a new episode of the Scout the Wiz podcast. I'm your host, ScoutWithBryan. Today we're thrilled to be joined by a big guest, quite literally, Gheorghe Muresan, the tallest player in NBA history, 7'7" legend. Gheorghe, how are you today?
Very good to see you.
You too.
Hello,
Is that accurate? Were you taller than Bol at the end of the day?
Yes.
Oh, what was it, by centimeters? It was a 7'6"?
He's actually it's the same.
Same?
Yeah.
We'll call it a tie. All right, so let's go back to the
It's
start.
not a big difference. It's not a big difference.
Not a
I
big
guess you got a longer neck than mine.
So let's go back to the start. I know both your parents, right, were under 5'10". At what age did you break 7 feet to start off with?
I don't know what age I break 7 feet, but I was growing like crazy. I was growing like plant.
Yeah.
So for me, it was very hard to figure out how much I was growing because I was seeing myself the same all the time.
Right. Do you know when you got to 7'7"?
I have no idea. Maybe when I was like 22, 23, 22.
Okay.
So
when did you fall in love with basketball? When did you know it was something you could do for a career?
man, I started playing when I was pretty young, 15. I was and in the beginning I hated the sport. I was not very friendly because I was getting very tired. I was very out of shape and I was very bad and very uncoordinated. But after that, I start to early a year later, I start to get better. And I start to figure out more I work, better I get. So maybe after a year, I started playing basketball. When I was like 16, I started to like basketball.
Got it. So
I was like, I was okay. I'm gonna play basketball for another 2 years, and that's it.
You never
And
thought
I will be playing basketball until I finish high school, and that's it. So I was getting better and better. And I said, wait a second, it's something what I'm gonna play for a while, I guess.
Was there a specific moment or a person that kind of made you realize, okay, I could do this professionally, or was it just kind of everything building up?
You know what? I was growing up in Romania at that time, and we don't have a professional basketball team at that time in Romania. So I was looking just for finish the school and go to the college or find a job. That is what my goal. But after I keep getting better and better, and I keep forget more about school and be more focused on basketball.
Worked out pretty well for you. You were an early second-round pick at the time to the Washington Bullets. By your second season in the league, you were entrenched as the starting center. Third year, you were the NBA's most improved player in 95-96, averaging almost 15 and 10. How fun was that? What do you remember about that time?
It was I played basketball because I love basketball. So when I start to get better and better, I give me more motivation to work harder, and it was fun. For me, it was fun. All the time when I was preparing for the game, or when I was preparing to walk from the locker room to the court, that was my best time. So for me, that was the most fun when I was walking from the locker room to the court.
You just kind of got a high of going into the competition like that?
Oh yes. I love the competition, and so I was working very hard like crazy just to be better, to compete much better, to be better in the game.
Yeah, no, winning most improved players is a pretty huge honor. But so that next year after that,
at the same time, I was lucky because I have a good coaches in Washington at that time, and they was smart enough to motivate me to working harder and harder and getting better. So I guess it was not just me. The coaches, they helped me a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to give them a lot of credit because they figured out a way to motivate me just to working harder.
What was the most motivating for you?
Sometimes you're very tired. You're coming from the road trip and you're very tired. You get tired of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your body is very tired, very tight. We have a lot of pain in the body, lots of tendinitis. But when you walk on the locker room and the coach give you a smile, and when he tell you, look, I still trust you, you can get some better. And he give you a couple of exercises, and after that you do the exercise, you start to feel much better. And that make me to working harder every day.
Sure.
And at the same time, I have a great teammates at that time. So was everything pretty good for me.
Yeah. Who were your favorite teammates in your time with the Bullets?
Man, different day, different guy, different game, different person.
Mm.
But to play, I love to play was Ross Strickland. He was a great passer. I love to play was Chris Robert. He had a great touch, and at the same time, he see the court very well. He was he was a great passer too. And Joan Howard, he was very very hard worker. Okay. So each one have a different approach. Each one.
Mm-hmm. The next season after that, 96-97, the Bullets go to the playoffs. You guys end up, getting swept by one of the best teams ever, MJ's Bulls. But all the games were really competitive. You lost game 3 by 1. You lost game 2 by 5. What do you remember about that series and against, going against that incredible Bulls team?
No, a couple of weeks early before their series, I injured my back, and I just remember how bad was I play was a lot of pain in my back, and I remember all the time when I do the subs and I come in the back and the bench, I put a lot of hot patch, and after the game I put a lot of ice. But I get so excited to play against to play in playoff and to play against Chicago Bulls, and I don't know, for some reason I believe we can take them.
Yeah,
my belief was right there. I'd say we can't beat this team. We can beat this team. But Michael Jordan was too good in that time. He was a little bit over our level, and we don't have anybody who can respond to his offense. But I was very excited. Just to be in playoff for me was big deal, and I was so happy to be right there, because before we got to playoff, we was tight for the eighth spot was Cleveland, and we have to play in Cleveland last game of the season. Mm-hmm. And who win that game go in playoff. And for some reason we figured out to win that game. Was not bad. It was pretty easy. But so we have a good team at that time.
Yeah. Do you strike me obviously as a guy who likes to have fun, but obviously also very professional, and you took the game seriously. What was like Dennis Rodman's approach to playing you? Did he try to get in your head or do it?
Look, for me, fun was to compete. That was fun for me. Mm-hmm. To go in the game and compete. This is what I have fun most of the time. Dennis Rodman, he tried to. He's very good defender. He's very good rebounder, and that's it. It's a very athletic, but that's it.
Right.
He tried to do his best to win the game all the time. He tried to find me. He tried to push me all the time. He tried to be sneaky. He tried a lot of stuff, but he don't know. I'm coming from Romania, and I play a lot of games before I play against him, and I have a lot of fights before the game. I mean, good fights, not ugly fights. but he tried to get in my head all the time. But he was most of the time he was out of the court before the third quarter.
Yeah.
So look, I have to give him a lot of credit. It was unbelievable hard work, very hard worker, and was a very, very good defender.
Could you have played, you think, in today's NBA?
Today, if I have to put the gears today, no.
No.
No, because I'm 50 years old.
Could 25-year-old Gheorghe Muresan have done it?
If I would be 19, of course, man.
Yeah.
Because look, at that time we was practice for that kind of the game.
Right.
Today you practice different. It's a different practice. It's even today the players they have they have a better knowledge of working out. The nutrition, it's a huge difference today than 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It's a big difference.
Mm.
The players are much talented and much athletics, but they have a different knowledge of practice today than 30 years ago.
Sure.
And I guess how you prepare, this is how you practice, this is how you play. And that time we was prepared in the way we play in that time. We was not prepared in the way we play today.
Right.
And the practice and everything. So I think, if you are talented, if you are a good player, you can play.
Yeah. Do you think, obviously today's NBA, almost every center is out there jacking up threes. Do you think, could you have done that? Were you a good enough shooter to figure that out?
Hey, look. I'm agree with you. Every center jack up three in these days, right? Mm-hmm. In that time, we don't have a shooting machine.
Sure.
When you can have the machine bomb for you, and you shot in 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you shot 1,000 shots. Okay. And your hand after you shot this for a year, coming automatic, and you can make almost every shot. And that time we don't have that. You have to play a ball boy, or you have to play somebody, or the coach rebound for you. But nobody give you 1,000 rebounds. Mm-hmm. In that time.
Yeah.
But today it's easy to get better in shooting, and that is the reason these players in today's game, they are a lot much talented, more athletics, and I believe they are much better players in today basketball.
Sure.
But again, the technology of nutrition, of workouts, and even shooting the hoop, it's big different today than 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And because all the technology and everything that is going on right now, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
And make a big difference.
Sure. What was the hardest part of the game for you back then? Was it the language barrier at times? Was it the illegal defense rules, guarding pick and rolls? What do you think was the hardest thing for you to adjust to?
Hard was when I lose the game. That was the hardest time. Second, the hard, and the most hard was the travel. First year was the worst because I cannot find a way to manage my rest and my sleep. That was my first year. Second year, I started getting better. But language is. It's the same language everywhere. I have to adjust a little bit to the speed to the game. In the beginning, I was not adjust to the game because the speed and the power. And after that, I do that one, everything starts coming easy for me. But language was not a big difference, no.
Okay.
At least I don't feel it. Maybe I was too focused on basketball. Who knows?
Right. Overall, I mean, you led the league in field goal percentage, I think twice. You finished averaging almost 10 points a game. But, as you kind of mentioned, obviously you did have a lot of injuries. Your career ended before 30.
For that, I was every day I stay after the practice and I work out on I practice on shooting almost every day after the practice. There was a lot of work, but you know what? I do this because I love basketball, and I hate to shoot the ball and miss the ball. I never like that one. And so not just I don't like it, but all the time after the practice, I just stay there and I try to shoot more and get better and better. And one day I was talking with one of the assistant coaches. I said, look, my goal is to make 15-row all the position I play. From when I shoot in the game, of course, I don't go to shoot outside because I was never get the ball outside to shoot.
Right.
And after I get their goal in a couple of weeks, make 50 shots in a row, and I keep doing this almost every day after the practice, or every second day, every second practice, and like this I get better and better, and that year I get the best field goal percentage in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I love basketball, and I love most of what I love about basketball is I love to compete. That was the most fun for me.
Sure. So how hard was it, for you to deal with, your career ending before 30 because of those injuries, like emotionally? What kind of effect did that have on you?
It was not easy. After in 1998 I had my first back surgery, and the doctor said, look, I guess you have to say goodbye to the basketball. After the surgery, I said, fuck, I don't gonna say that one. And he said, no, he said, you will be not available to play anymore. And I got a coach, Mike Kelly from Baltimore. And I was working out with him for 6 months. I started getting better and feeling good and getting better and better and better. And I signed a contract with New Jersey Nets, and after that I played another year in French. So I played 2 more years.
Yeah.
After that, but it was not easy. It was not easy. I was wake up every morning after for a while, and I pack my bag and I want to go to the gym. And other things, man, I was dreaming all the time I play basketball. All the time I have this dream, I play basketball. I play for Romania national team. I play for NBA teams all the time.
Right.
So for a while, man, I have these dreams for a while. I wake up, I said, oh man, I wish. But it was not easy.
Sure.
It was not easy to give up something when you like it and want to love it. But I was lucky in the same time because I have 2 boys, Gheorghe and Victor, and I was lucky, and I tried to spend a lot more time with them and get my focus on them. Then, but it was still hard. Well, it was still hard. It was
Sure.
was not easy.
Yeah. No, and you mentioned, I know your son George, I think, just finished up after last season, right, as a walk-on at Georgetown under Patrick Ewing. What was it like, having a son kind of get to follow in your footsteps a little bit and love the game?
You know what? I tell George and I tell Victor the same. I say, look, play basketball how long you can to have fun. And but you have to understand, after the basketball it's a life. And you have to be prepared for their life. And to be prepared for their one, you have to have a school and you have to have education. And man, for me, the most important, I have a chance to coach them when they was young, when they was in high school, and that was the most important. Oops. Sorry,
I got you still.
My battery get back. Okay, now it's better.
Good.
So that was the most important for me. And see them play. I tell you, I love high school basketball because I see a lot of high school games when they play in high school, and I love high school basketball. Now. Yeah. And You know what? I'm very proud of them. Very, very, very proud of them. And George, right now, he finished playing for Georgetown. He got a great job, and he continued to the school, and I'm very proud of him too.
That's great. The you mentioned going to a lot of games in the area. I'd imagine a lot of them probably came from your experience, your own company in the area, which is the Giant Basketball Academy. I know is a big development in Virginia. You do a lot of camps, coaching, things like that. Does that kind of fulfill that void a little bit of basketball, being able to be around the game still that way?
You know what? Look, I tell you something. I figured out when I start to work with the kids. I figured out I get so happy, so exciting when I see these kids getting better and better and better. It's like I was playing basketball, and that helped me a lot. Help me and see these kids improve every month, every week. That make me be happy and made me forget about the competition. I don't know if after I finished playing, the most what I missed was the competition, not the basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most what I was craving for, the competition.
Yeah. Do you feel that as a coach? Like,
what's up?
When you coach games, like when you coach at your academy, do you feel that like sense of competition still? Or
oh yes. But it's different the one you play and the one you coach. But you still compete. I mean, it's important. Every point, every offense, every defense.
Yeah.
I try to don't look in that way. But sometimes, whatever happens, you still look in the competition way. And basketball is a competition sport. It's not you ride bike for fun. You play basketball to compete.
Yeah.
This is what I see.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, you ride bike to have fun. But when you're on the basketball court with somebody else, you compete. It's fun when you compete. That is what I see the game of basketball.
Definitely. You're an ambassador right now still for the Wizards, right? I know fans, I'm sure, miss seeing you. You would always walk the stands at games, say hi to plenty of fans. How hard has it been during COVID to not get to do that? And are you looking forward to?
Man, first, what I hate in this period of the COVID, the worst what I hated, when we don't have any sport, and you have to stay in the house, but you really don't have nothing to watch.
Yeah.
And that was the worst. That was the worst for me. Now I'm happy. You can watch games, but I get tired to watch the games on TV. I want to go to feel the fans. I want to go on the gym. This is what I want to see. I want to hear the fans cheering for the team. I want to see that energy. When you watch the game in the TV, it looks like you lose 50% of their energy.
Yeah.
For me, to get excited, love the game is when I'm on the game. So I miss a lot. I miss to go to the game. I miss the fans. That part of the game I miss a lot. So it was pretty hard. But the worst was when you cannot even watch any game on TV because there was not any sports, and that drives me crazy.
Yeah. Have they said anything to you about? I know DC is starting to let some fans in, maybe, but have they said anything about when you might be able to get back in?
We don't know yet. We still next season.
Next season.
Hope we can do next season. Hope.
Yeah.
And we get tired of this coronavirus, so hope everything gonna be okay by next season. Last year this time, if you tell me today you cannot go to the basketball game, I will say no, that is not possible.
Yeah.
I don't expect this so long. I don't expect.
I don't think anybody did. Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this the current team. I know not as fun watching them on TV, but Brad obviously leads the league in scoring. Westbrook's a whirlwind. Is this team going to make the playoffs?
Look, Bradley Beal all the time, he have this killer shot. He have the nicest touch. I believe he have the nicest touch in NBA, Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, it's extremely serious player, and I love him. And I'm so happy he's in Washington. And he's the guy who improves every year. Now, when Westbrook coming to Washington, completely different style, different player. Extremely hard worker. The player, everybody want to play with him in the team. He make everybody exciting. So the worst is for me right now, I cannot go to see them live. I have to see them on TV. That is the worst for me. But I waiting for the day when I can go to see them live.
Do you think this is a playoff team, or what do you think they need to become?
I think we have a great team right now.
Okay.
This is what I believe we have a great team. They have to figure out and other things. We have a lot to lose in the beginning, but at the same time, we have a lot of problems, health problems on the team. And the players, they don't practice together for a long time, and the players, they don't know each other for a long time because they don't see each other on the court. Each one have different problems, and they was out of the court. They see them on the practice. They see each other in the practice lot.
Right.
But right now, they're gonna start to get better and better and better. And this is what I want to see. And hope this team stays together, and maybe we can add something to the team, and next year gonna be a champion team. We have great players right now. We have great players.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, the other thing besides basketball that you're known mostly for is your starring role alongside Billy Crystal, the title character in My Giant. I read at some point that you had never actually watched the movie. Is that still true? Or have you watched it now?
Yes.
You never watched
No, not really. I don't watch the movie. No.
Is that because you don't want to, see yourself acting, or what's the reasoning behind that?
I don't like myself in the movie.
Really?
I think I can do better than that.
I thought you were pretty good, but did you enjoy the experience working with Billy?
I love the experience. I was very exciting, and at the same time very lucky working with Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal is unbelievable, extremely smart, and I never see nobody work so hard like Billy Crystal was working. He was working like 16 hours a day. Oh. And when I see him working, I was go every morning to the gym. I say, I work hard too today, every day. He's kind of motivating. But hey, look, every morning when we meet in the makeup room, he has so much energy. He was so spontaneous all the time, make you feel good. I said, man, how this guy have so much energy? He work all night long and coming in the morning, and his energy was high. So, hey, he made me feel very good, and I tell you, I have the best experience working with him.
Sure. George, this has been awesome. I know, like I said, you obviously have the Giant Basketball Academy in the DMV. You're on Twitter at George Muresan. Is there anything else that anywhere else fans can find you, or anything else that you're working on lately?
Yeah, I hope we can start the league this spring, and I hope we're gonna have a couple of kids to play a league then 3-on-3, and hope we can get a lot of kids better and better. And people who want to get in touch with me, I'm on the Twitter, so sometimes I answer, sometimes not.
You're on Cameo too. I saw you do some good cameos on.
Oh yeah, some Cameo too. Yes.
It's
yes.
A happy birthday.
I'm almost everywhere.
Yeah, George, thank you very much for joining me. Really enjoyed this chat, and thanks again for hopping on Scout the Wiz.
Say hi to your father for me. He's the best doctor. And good to see you.
You too. Thank you again.
Take care.